certainly hope you enjoyed the poem. I believe that there are going to be a lot of people reading Baudelaire this evening, so I thought I'd start off with a theme of death.
Yeah.
Well, it's the one thing we'll all achieve, as we were just saying before. I'm reading a poem that's called La Mort du Loup, The Death of the Wolf by Alfred de Vigny, and I'll just give you a little bit of information, not too much about him. He was a French romantic poet, novelist and dramatist. He was born into an aristocratic family, but he was very disillusioned with the society he lived in. He's particularly well known for his poems, La Mort du Loup being one of his most well-known works, but he also wrote, which I didn't know, he's well known for an historical novel called Cinq Mars, I don't know if you know it in English, which was the first significant French historical novel of the period. His poems are characterised by lonely stoicism, compact form, visual imagery and the use of symbolic landscapes, and he himself described the poems as compositions in which a philosophic thought is staged under an epic or dramatic form. I first read this poem when I was a student in Paris in 2003, and I was sitting on a park bench reading a collection of poems, and I literally started crying, not crying, I had a tear rolling down my cheek reading this poem, so I hope it moves you similarly in some way this evening. Sorry. I'm reading a translation into English by Stan Simons. The dark clouds sped across the orange moon as smoke trails streak across a fire. And to the far horizon, the woods were black. Silent we walked amid the dewy grass, amid dense briars and the vaulting heather, until beneath some moorland conifers we saw great gashes, marks of griping claws made by the wandering wolves we trod. We listened, holding back our breath, stopped in mid-stride, nor wood nor plain loosed murmurs to the air. Only the morning wind vane cried out to the sky. For well above the ground the biting wind only disturbed the solitary tower, and the oaks within the shelter of the rocks on their gnarled elbows seemed to doze. No rustle then, but sudden stooping low the most experienced hunter of our band. Better to scrutinise the sand, softly declared, and he was never wrong, that these fresh claw marks showed without a doubt these were the very animals we sought. The two great wolves and their two stripling cubs. And then we all prepared our hunting knives, hiding our guns in their fierce telltale gleam. We went on, step by step, parting the bushes green. 3 of us stopped, and, following their gaze, I noticed suddenly 2 eyes that blazed. And further off, 2 slender forms together, dancing beneath the moon, amid the heather. And they were like the hounds that showed their joy, greeting their master with a wondrous noise. And they were like also was the dance, save the cubs played all in silence, knowing full well that near and sleeping slow, secure inside his house was man their foe. The father wolf was up, further against a tree, remained his mate, a marble statue shape, the same adored by Rome, whose generous breast and suckling gave Remus a Romulus. The sire advanced with 4 legs braced to stand, with cruel claws dug deeply in the sand. He was surprised, and knew that he was lost, for all the ways were seized, retreat cut off. Then in his flaming maw, one fell bound seized the bare throat of our bravest hound. Like traps, his steely jaws he would not leash, despite our bullets searing through his flesh, and our keen knives like cruel and piercing nails, flashing and plunging through his entrails. He held his grasp until the throttled hound, dead long before, beneath his feet slumped down. The wolf then let him drop, and looked his fill at us. Our daggers thrust home to the hilt, steeped in his blood, impaled him to the ground, our ring of rifles threatening him surround. He looked at us once more, while his blood spread wide and far, and his great life force launched, not deigning then to know how he had died. Closed his great eyes, expired without a cry. I couched my brow upon a smoking gun, and deep in thought I tried to bend my mind to track the she-wolf and her 2 young ones. They would most willingly have stayed behind, but for her cubs that fine and sombre mother would not have left her make there to endure. She had to save her children, nothing other. Teach them to suffer gladly pangs of hunger, not sell their souls. Enter that dishonourable pact man forced upon those hapless beasts who fawn and hunt for him, and do his will, the primal owners of the hills and forests. Alas, I thought, despite the pride and name of man, we are but feeble, fit for shame. You know the secret, sublime animal. See what of earthly life you can retain. Silence alone is noble, weakness remains. O traveller, I understand you well. Your final gaze went to my very soul, saying with all your being you must strive with strength and purpose and with all your thought to gain that high degree of stoic pride, to which, although a beast I have aspired, weeping or praying, all this is in vain. Shoulder your long and energetic task, the way that destiny sees fit to ask, then suffer, and so die without complaint.